If you blinked this past weekend, you simply missed the most anticipated event in MMA. Now we're going to break down everything that happened at the unbelievable UFC Casablanca. Man, Poatan was unfortunately defeated by Ciryl Gane, and I know a lot of people are still trying to figure out how that happened. But that wasn't the only big story of the night, guys. Lopes made history. Mauricio Ruff steamrolled Chandler in the first round. Topuria went into one of the most important fights of his career against Gaethje, and the UFC delivered one of those nights that completely changed the course of several divisions, guys. Today, I'll calmly analyze this without emotion, sugarcoating, or falling for the easy talk online. Because behind this historic night, there are a lot of things that few people noticed. So, guys, let's react to UFC Casablanca. At the start of the card with Lopes, it was a really tough fight for him. He faced the American-Mexican Steve Garcia, a guy with insane striking, a reach longer than Lopes, a southpaw, tough, and he really knows how to set the pace of the fight standing up. And he was able to impose his game, landing the heavier shots, making Diego move backward. But we knew that Diego is a guy who really likes to study and sometimes even lets his opponent get comfortable in the fight. And then he lands a shot and finishes the fight. Big congratulations to Lopes. He's a guy who deserves to be back there fighting for the belt. He did great, my brother. He showed that he has heart and really knows how to set things up and spot openings in his opponent. I'm dealing with a guy who really knows how to handle open stance matchups. You know, the open stance, as I say at my gym. Diego handled that open stance game really well. But congratulations, and let's move on to the next one, guys. Now let's talk about Ruffy. Ruffy faced a guy who's already at the end of his career, right? Chandler. Chandler was already a champion in Bellator, a guy who's always been among the best in the division, a really tough wrestler. A guy who's really good at striking, knows how to mix it up and move between all three areas of MMA really well. But Ruffy, for this fight, was already the huge favorite, right guys? A guy with really good striking, very versatile. He kept building up, kept wearing Chandler down. Chandler tried a few times to take the fight to the ground, but he defended really well. He has really heavy hips. And his stand-up game is very versatile, right guys? I really like those spinning heel kicks from Ruffy. He times them well, and that's how he set up his knockout. Chandler went down, and Ruffy showed us once again that he deserves to fight among the champions. I think now the title shot is coming, huh, Ruffy? Let's go, man. I liked what I saw, bro.
The age difference. Do you think that made things harder for Chandler?
Man, I think age still matters, yes. But I see that right now, age is a factor for Chandler because he's been on the road for a long time. Honestly, at 40 years old and with so much time fighting, he really starts losing his chin, losing the ability to dehydrate. And you can see the size difference, man, you know? It's hard for Ruffy at 40 years old to make 70 kilos, guys, you know? Because the body loses that resistance to dehydration and you start losing condition. Chandler still looks like a guy from a lower weight class, right? This is Ruffy's moment. Ruffy is at the peak of his career and he definitely deserves to be fighting among the champions. He's already shown he has a complete game. So congratulations to Ruffy. Beast, absolute beast. He knows what he's doing, controls the distance really well, very versatile. His kicks are perfectly timed, and you can see, guys, Ruffy doesn't waste any strikes. He only throws the right shots, guys. You know what I mean? Man, his level of striking connection is really high. He uses his reach really well, and he doesn't throw strikes for nothing. Every strike he throws is meant to land, man. Congratulations, man. Beautiful game. Clean. Shows every striker how to fight in MMA. Yeah, guys, we were already coming off 2 Brazilian victories. And we were sure it would be Brazil's 3rd victory. Poatan versus Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane, a versatile guy. Heavyweight. Really high-level striking, but he has a very loose style. And we didn't expect that moment there. That punch landed. But guys, I'm here to tell you. Number of punches to the back of the head. And the referee didn't say anything. In my view, Alex should have attacked less, right? As he put Gane under pressure. He became very susceptible to those shots there, right? To Gane's counter punches on his movement. But that's Alex's game. Alex likes to pressure, to fight under that pressure, right? But he seemed a bit slow. And we'll see that he was really bothered by Gane's game there with the opposite stance, with him fighting as a southpaw, right? That little kick to the knee there really bothered him. But that stomp there, that's a kick they use a lot in Savate, you know, guys? It's a kick that people from Savate use a lot. It prevents Alex from putting that pressure on his lead leg to have striking power, right? So it made it really hard for him to move forward, right? To be offensive. Ciryl Gane was very smart, guys. And you can see that he's always trying to keep his lead foot outside of Alex's foot, forcing Alex's head to always be on the inside of his power hand. That was really, really well done by Ciryl Gane. Look at that. He turned it into a grappling fight, just like I said he could. Look, go back so you can see. Check it out, guys. At this moment, Alex has his head on the inside in the opposite stance matchup. He's stepping toward the inside part of Ciryl Gane. And Ciryl Gane throws this jab, meeting Alex's jab, like I always say, guys. In opposite stances, don't let your opponent get their head outside yours. Always keep your head on this side. What happened? Alex came in with the jab inside, going after Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane just threw the jab over the top there because Alex came right into his range. And I always say this, guys. Always try to step to the outside, right? But we know that in the heat of the fight, that's not always possible. He was drawn in. Ciryl Gane moves really well. And along with that movement, Alex came in with the jab. And he threw that jab over Alex's hand, right? And then came the finishing blow. And that was the strike that caused the knockout. Now Alex grabs Ciryl Gane's leg, and look at the amount. That elbow wasn't even the problem. The problem starts now. Look at the number of strikes. Landed on the back of Alex's head, guys. A lot of shots to the back of the head. And Herb Dean didn't do anything, man.
Do you think the angle he was at made it hard for him to see that? No, because we can see that he's completely... No.
There was no difficulty with the angle at all. What really happened there was movement. Many will even say, oh, but Alex gave him the back of his neck so he could land shots there. When I hide my head in the single leg, the athlete has to see where he's striking. If I use my elbow or punch, no, that wasn't a punch. That wasn't right. Now, after the second defense, those first elbows while he's sitting weren't to the back of the head, weren't to the neck, but now the punches to the back of the head started.
Yeah, here when he's in this position, we can see that it's to the side of the ear, right?
Yeah, there, look, it's to the side of the ear. But then it starts hitting the back of the head. Then he started hitting the back of the head. That's when he got wobbly, man. He was already wobbly, right? But still, the way he moves his head back, man, while countering, but already like that, without the proper muscle contraction, you know? Already completely without any strength, right, man?
Yeah, from the moment he goes to the ground to try the single leg, we know that all the muscle effort went into that moment.
It went down the drain, right, man? After you get taken down, all your muscles can barely contract properly anymore. Yeah, when a heavyweight's hand lands, man, there's a real man on the other side. And you saw how Alex goes after the fight. He hunts his opponent, but unfortunately, Ciryl Gane managed to land a punch there. And already in the first round, he had landed a front kick that really bothered Alex. But man, congratulations to Ciryl Gane. But I'll say it again, to you and to everyone who messaged me directly, you don't become a champion only by winning. Alex will come back stronger. You saw how against Ankalaev, he lost the first one and came back to win in overwhelming fashion. If a second chance is given, I believe Alex will get a second chance, yes. He will come into this fight differently. First heavyweight fight, he always dropped down to light heavyweight around 108, 107. Now he weighed in at 116, and for the fight, if I'm not mistaken, the scale showed 111.
113.
113 on the scale. That's heavier than what he's used to. Even though he naturally weighs 105 kilos, he came in 8 kilos heavier. It affects his reflexes, and man, it's a new weight class. It's a weight class where the power is greater, and he's fighting against a very versatile guy who moves very lightly. I didn't expect that. And the whole Flamengo crowd, my brother.
The Brazilian crowd?
Right? The Brazilian fans, I say Flamengo fans because I have...
About 10 Poatan haters, but the rest of the people, everyone was together.
Does Poatan have haters?
Yes. Really, man, I found out today.
Hey, guys.
I found out a little something about Pabon. But let me tell you now.
Man, what does a guy have to do to get haters, man? The guy saved the UFC several times, taking fights on short notice when he wasn't even prepared to take them. He already accepted, went there, took the risk. The guy has been in MMA for a very short time. What he's done in the last 4 years is something we've never seen before. He never picked his fights. On the contrary, he just accepts, goes there, steps up, and fights. Man, you see how he is? He doesn't disrespect anyone. He doesn't badmouth anyone, okay? He just goes there. He's straightforward. All right. So if he has haters, guys, man, if he has haters, I mean, I'll even say to my people, thanks.
And how do yours compare to that?
What are mine compared to that? Man, the guy has haters. The guy did everything, guys. A lot of people came to me. Man, do you see that GOAT is John Jones? Yeah, maybe, man, maybe. But John Jones picked a lot of fights during his career, you know? He picked a lot. He refused a lot of fights. Alex never refused anything. And he did what he did in 4 years of UFC, what nobody had ever done. And you can be sure he's going to come back stronger, man. This guy, he has the mentality of a champion, you know? He's coming back to go for the title again.
Okay, speaking about this topic, I have 3 questions for you. First, about him coming back as a champion. At the end of the fight, he gave an interview and they asked him if he's going to stay in the heavyweight division or if he's going back down to light heavyweight. He replied that everything would be evaluated with him and his team and together they would decide what's best right now. What's your opinion about that?
Well, my opinion is exactly what he said. Guys, Alex, at this moment, after this loss, needs to sit down with his team and analyze things. Analyze the fight, analyze his chances of coming back for that belt, you know? If he really wants to be the heavyweight champion, he needs to keep training as a heavyweight. He put on body mass very quickly. There wasn't enough time. He had never fought with 10 extra kilos before. This time, he fought for the first time with 10 extra kilos on his body. He was always used to fighting much lighter than he actually is, for real. And this time, he fought heavier than he ever has before. So there's a lot for him to adapt to. Okay, guys? In Glory and WGP, he always fought very light, 85-91. And in the UFC too, 84.93. And now, as a heavyweight, there's a lot of adapting to do. Alex is a heavyweight, yes, guys. His normal weight was never below 100. It was always above 100. But he never fought as a heavyweight. He always fought in the lower weight classes, you know? He always dehydrated, watched his diet, and dehydrated to make the lower weight classes. This time, he fought as a heavyweight. He didn't worry about that ritual. As people know, in the fight world, we know that the most fundamental fight is dehydration, the diet, you know? It's really hard, but that prepares us for the fight. We get used to that ritual, and now he left it behind, took that ritual out of his life, you know? He doesn't need to restrict his diet anymore. He doesn't need to do hyperhydration anymore to dehydrate, you know? So guys, there's a lot for him to adapt to. Like I told you, a champion isn't made just by winning, you know? He showed us the light heavyweight division, and he's gonna show us, I have no doubt, this athlete Alex is a warrior. He's a guy who takes perseverance as action. He doesn't give up, man. If he has it in his mind that he's going to be champion, you can be sure he'll come back strong. He, Glover, Plinio, they're going to sit down with Felipe Lima. They're going to sit down, analyze, and come back stronger, man. Mistakes happen, but that's it, guys. A fight is a fight. As we know, 2 men enter and one comes out victorious and the other comes out defeated. And this time it was our Alex. But let's look at it. There were 3 Brazilians. 2 won beautifully and 1 came out defeated. But there's a lot to learn from this. You can be sure he'll come back strong.
That's the risk, right?
If I hadn't taken risks every time I fought, I wouldn't be who I am today.
That's it. You said it all, man. Every time an athlete steps into the ring, he's taking a risk. And we see a lot of romanticizing around our sport. I see kids messing around, fighting in the street without the safety of a proper place where you won't hit your head and get hurt. Don't romanticize the world of fighting. In the world of fighting, we work very seriously to reduce the risks as much as possible. And don't go around thinking, let's just go fight with my friend. Man, you could seriously hurt yourself. He knows what he's getting into. He's taking a risk. He got in there. He could come out victorious or not. 90% of the fighting professionals were betting on him. And man, Cairo managed to come out victorious. But I think a rematch would be ideal, man. Now would be the perfect time for a rematch in this fight.
So you think he's not going to fight Rocket?
Man, I think it would be a good fight for him against Rocket, you know?
Should he really put himself in that situation with that guy? I think so.
Rocket just knocked out Derek Lewis, who I believe is in the top 5, right? So, yeah.
Now I'm wide awake, man.
Why?
What a damn shitty fight that was, damn.
But man, that's MMA, Matthias. That's MMA, my brother. The guy was perfect against a guy with insane knockout power.
Derek Lewis, you get it? He really put on a show, right?
He put on a show, man, and he showed that he knows how to get it done. He knew how to limit the exchanges against Derek Lewis, made it a grappling fight when he had to. It's a tough fight for Alex.
Now tell me, what was that army lock?
Wow.
Go on, I want you to tell me. Go ahead, my black belt.
The arm lock that Rocket put on Lewis there really lacked some technical aspects for both of them. Rocket applied the arm lock with his legs crossed, knee open, very loose, easy for anyone who does grappling, right? For anyone who practices jiu-jitsu to get out of there, right? Derek Lewis showed that he doesn't know how to defend against an arm lock, but it's really complicated for me to say that, right, guys? For those watching, it looks easy. It's easy, right, for us to look from the outside at the arm lock. The guy didn't defend, didn't do this. He stayed with the arm lock in for a long time, and he didn't show any adjustment, right, in that position. From our perspective, for those watching from the outside, you can see that they don't know much about the gentle art. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu have a lot to teach both of them, right? But Josh Rocket showed that he's a really good guy in there. He knows his stuff. He mimicked Derek Lewis's style, known for knockout power. If I recall, Lewis has among the most knockouts in the heavyweight division. But he knew how to limit that and took it to the ground when he needed to. He's a guy who's probably getting more visibility. He's a complete fighter, so I see a lot of potential for this kid to do well. If Alex doesn't get the rematch, I think it could possibly be this guy, since he already took the fight, beat Derek Lewis convincingly, and deserves to fight with the top guys. So if he wants a title shot, he'll have to beat Alex. Either the UFC gives Alex a direct rematch, or they put the two of them together, right?
Even if he's an idiot who insults someone's mother at the gate.
Even if he's a complete idiot, right?
He insulted the mother at the gate and Michelle Obama, the former president's wife, inside the White House as soon as he entered.
Who heard that?
Damn, but that's, man.
My brother? No, he deserves it. He deserves to get beaten. This one deserves to get beaten. Yeah, guys. Now, speaking of sadness, we talked about the two favorites. We all believed. I think there were more people believing in Topuria than believing in Alex himself against Ciryl Gane.
He may have lost. I turned off the TV and went to sleep.
How many people in the world do you think were watching this UFC Casablanca more for Alex or more for Topuria? For Alex. So for me, the main event was moved up because a lot of people were waiting for Alex. If Alex had fought later, nobody would have turned off the TV to go to sleep. You turned it off to go to sleep.
No, frustrated, right, in the fetal position, crying.
But let's go, guys. Topuria versus Justin Gaethje, a guy who's already very experienced in the fight world, a guy who's been through endless wars, man, a guy with a strong chin. He knows how to create chaos. He knows how to handle a war, my brother. We say that he would be a soldier on the front lines of war, man. He's on the front line because he's always putting himself in those situations. He likes that kind of game in there. What he endured in the first round, guys, was really tough, but he hurt Topuria more than Topuria hurt him with that pressure. And he had already said it in interviews, and it's something I mentioned in my analysis. What I see in Justin Gaethje is that he's used to taking hits. He's a guy who hardly ever goes down. He's got a chin of steel, man, and it looks like he was right. He looked at Topuria and said, "Brother, you've never faced someone who doesn't go down easily, and you're not going to knock me out easily. You'll hit me until you're tired, and then I'll start catching you." And man, you saw that he would go for the single leg, grabbed Topuria's head, and Topuria, he did this about 3 times. He landed about 3 really strong uppercuts on Topuria.
Here I thought he was going to.
Then he almost went down, right? Then he almost went down.
We were discussing that he didn't make the most of the ground game in those moments. Yeah.
He may not have taken advantage of the ground very well and mounted, but guys, we're talking about a guy who knows how to handle moments like this. How many times has he been through this? How many wars has he been through in this moment? Look, if we were to calculate how much chaos an athlete has gone through inside the octagon, Justin Gaethje is one of the ones who went through the most, man. Because every fight with him is a war. It's chaos all the time, brother. And what did he do there, guys? What is he made of, man? I have a friend here in Rio Grande do Sul, Jonas Bueno. And once he said, "Master, calm down. This guy I'm facing, it was a Korean guy at a Korean event. He's really strong. I have to tire him out first." But how do you tire the guy out? Let him hit you, man. You get it? Let him hit you. Let him take you down. Make him use his strength trying to hit you. Put yourself in situations where you can protect yourself, my brother, until that guy gets tired. And Justin Gaethje, man, Topuria mounted him. Topuria passed. Topuria mounted him. Brother, he did everything. He hit him standing, he hit him on the ground, he did everything, and in the third round, he turned the situation around. He lost the first, lost the second, and knocked him out in the third round, guys, my brother. And look at what I said, man. It's a card where few Americans are going to win, and that's really how it was. Few Americans were winning their fights, right? But look at that. Yeah, brother, third round. What a hit. That's it. That's it.
You can hear the snap. Now he's attempting a guillotine, then a head and arm triangle.
It's tough, man. Hey, Topuria, hitting tires you out, you know, guys? Throwing punches tires you out, man. But there was no way he couldn't speed up in those moments when he did. Justin Gaethje was done, man, you know. There was nothing he could do. Done. He was going through a moment where he couldn't help but speed up, and he did, guys. He sped up and lost his strength. You can see that now Justin Gaethje can't even kick anymore, man. This fight from Gaethje, I'm a guy who really likes this athlete, an athlete who comes in quietly, leaves quietly, does his job. He shows up for wars. He gives himself body and soul to the game. I really like Topuria, the guy with unshakable behavior. This time I was rooting more for Topuria at the beginning because Gaethje said a little something about the family and all, about Topuria. That's not cool. But man, in the octagon, he's really tough, man. He's a guy who deserved that belt, you know? 40 years old. If someone tells you that you're old, don't believe it, man. Don't believe it. If you don't have any injuries, man, keep fighting. Let me tell you, it's a division where it's rare for them to be.
There was 324.
He was the interim champion, right?
And BMF too.
Yeah, no, so he hadn't been champion yet, guys. He had been interim belt holder and the best motherfucker. Yeah, then.
There are even rumors about that, about unifying the BMF belts.
Yeah, guys, the best motherfucker. If you haven't seen the fight between Holloway and Gaethje, in the last 10 seconds of the fight, they call each other to the center of the ring and go into a crazy exchange, and Holloway puts Gaethje to sleep, guys.
He posted 3 hours ago, it's time for us to unify the belts.
Yeah, man, what a fight. And I'll tell you, I'm rooting for Charlin. I see a good MMA fight for Charles to move around there, you know? Because Gaethje is easier to find, right? That's his style. Yeah, he's easier to take down than any other top 5 there.
Let me bring up a topic here. Mr. Ilia Topuria, he had a record of 17 wins and 0 losses.
He was undefeated.
He was undefeated. And what happened? Yesterday before the fight, they updated his Instagram bio from 17-0 to 18-0. Look, as if he had already won the fight. And then there are a lot of people commenting about this, about the fact that he was being arrogant.
He celebrated too soon. The fight gods will make you pay, guys. If he updated his profile to 18-0, you know, before a really tough fight. If he was sure he was going to win, yeah, easily. He showed a pretty big lack of humility there. And Gaethje, man, he's a warrior, a guy who only gives up if you really put him out. Otherwise, man, now I want to hear from you guys. Which result surprised you the most in this one, right? Freedom 250. Was it Poatan's loss to Gane or Topuria's fight against Gaethje? Comment below because I want to know your opinion, guys. And if you want real technical analysis without guessing or blind bias, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and check out the next videos. Alright? Who are you rooting for, man?
Topuria, always. Yeah.
Man, me too. It's like... oh. Soccer games, sometimes for example, there was a moment in the Brazil game against Morocco when I even started rooting for Morocco, man. When I said it, I thought, wow, those guys are playing so well, I'm already rooting for them.